We're going right now to David Axelrod, senior White House advisor, to gauge the sentiments of everything right now in Washington. David, how are you guys feeling?
Well, obviously, it's a disappointment. It would have been great to have the Olympics in Chicago. I think Chicago would have done a great job for it. But look, the President of the United States will go anywhere to promote the interests of this country, to make the case for this country. And I think it was worth the effort. And we move on.
Hindsight, though, being 2020, for quite some time, the White House had said the president has a very full plate. He's not going to be able to take the time to get to Copenhagen, having decided to send the First Lady. Oprah Winfrey was another bonus there to help support her bid. Hindsight, again, being 2020, do you think it was a smart move to send him?
Absolutely. Listen, this president is going to go anywhere he can to promote this country, to try and bring good things back to this country. The fact is that he left at 7 o'clock last night, and he'll be back in an hour or two. So it isn't exactly like he was gone very long. We truncated the trip so that he wouldn't miss business back home. So I think it was well worth the investment of time, and I have no regrets about that, and I know he doesn't.
David, this being a very political town, you know there'll be many critics that say it was a wasted effort and that, in essence, this is a referendum on Barack Obama and, by extension, America. I mean, what do you say to those critics?
Well, I don't think that's true, and I think the world leaders would not concur in that. And look, criticism is part of this job. If you can't take it, you shouldn't take the job. But I am proud of this president for going to make the case for this country. I think this country can be proud of that. And again, we're disappointed it didn't work out, but it was well worth the effort. I'm not worried about the politics of it. Anytime you're going and making the case for the United States of America, you're doing the right thing.
Different kind of politics may be underway within the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. David, do you have any inside information on where they may be heading and why it was that Chicago went out first?
Well, obviously, I'd be the last person to ask about the internal politics of the IOC. I think that the fact that Madrid had a former president of the IOC leading their effort was valuable. When you have those kinds of long-standing interpersonal relationships, that's valuable. And obviously, Rio has been very aggressive in seeking this. Brazil has been very aggressive in seeking this. But I can't speak to those listen, we got thick enough politics in this town. I haven't yet mastered that, so I can't tell you much about what's going on inside that room in Copenhagen.
Oh, I don't know. I think a lot of people think you're at the top of the heap there of the politics there in Washington at this point, David. Listen, will the president be addressing this when he gets off Air Force One? And we believe he's supposed to speak about 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, he'll be making some remarks when he returns.
Okay. And David, when the president goes back, is it business as usual? What will be first up on his plate?
I'm sorry, can you ask that again?
When the president gets back into the White House, what's going to be first on his agenda?
Well, the economy is always first on his agenda, and we got some jobs numbers today that we're bracing in terms of the challenges that we face, and so I'm sure there'll be some issues related to that. His fundamental thrust here is to try and bring about a recovery that gets Americans back to work. We're making great progress in the economy, but it's not going to be good enough until people who want jobs can find them, and that's something that's a focus of his attention this day and every day.
And David, it's Monica Novotny here. I'm just wondering, we heard at the end of that bid, before the president left Copenhagen, that on the plane he met with General McChrystal. Is there anything at all you can tell us about that meeting?
Other than to confirm that there was such a meeting and that I'm told it was a good and constructive meeting, I don't have the details of it, and I'm sure you'll get a more extensive readout from the folks who were on the plane.
And was that something, how far in advance had that meeting been planned?
I think that the president, when he heard that General McChrystal was going to be in London, thought that he could that it would make sense for the two of them to get together, that it was a short hop to Copenhagen for the general, and it was a good chance, given this ongoing discussion about next steps in Afghanistan, to take some time with him. So I think that decision was made probably in the last 24 to 48 hours.
Does that work to mitigate potentially any word that you still get from the critics in the days ahead talking about this being a wasted effort, the fact that he did get this meeting in?
No, I think it was purely motivated by the fact that we have this ongoing process. The president wanted to spend some time with General McChrystal. Obviously, he's busy in Afghanistan. The fact that they were both in the same general vicinity and that it was easier to get together made this a logical thing to do.
All right, David Axelrod, thank you for jumping out in front of the camera there on the White House on the heels of this announcement. I appreciate that.